I have an ancestor whom I wouldn't call an ancestor because she's very much alive and living her life to the fullest. I call her Grandma, but many people know her as Ires Moraes. She is renowned for being a joyful soul who loves to dance and has no intention of stopping working at her hair salon. She is from Iraquara, Bahia, a tiny town with a population of 26,000 people. However, during the time my grandma lived there, maybe only about 10,000 people lived there. She lived there for approximately 10 to 12 years of her life. Although it wasn't many years, it was enough time for her to create her own stories and friendships. I fortunately got the chance to visit when I was 43 years old. So I'm sure you can understand that I don't remember much from this trip, but I do remember that the main reason we went was for my grandma to reconnect with her father. She never truly had a relationship with him, neither her mother, so they kind of were just kept apart from each other. My grandma has memories of her father sending letters to São Paulo, trying to convince them to move back to Bahia. But my great-grandma, Nelsina, didn't want them to return to a country place. Iraquara, though, it was known for its natural beauty. Many people would come for the caves, for the Lapa Doce, Gruta Azul, or perhaps just the zip line of the Fazendinha da Prata. I don't have a photo where my grandma lived, but I have found similar houses that kind of ring a bell in my brain when I look at them. Maybe it's because they're similar to the house we visit when we were there, or maybe just because it remembers me how simple the house was. Unfortunately, during our trip, we found out that her father had passed away around 6 months before our trip to Bahia. Even though it was a hard time for the family, just knowing that he was alive this entire time and we didn't know, it was a lot of fun to kind of learn more about who he was and all the stories my grandma and her siblings had while living at that town. During my interview, I asked my grandma if she would go back to Bahia just to visit and go back in time. She said no, but if her father or her mother was still there, she wouldn't even think twice. Moving countries for me was hard, but I can't even imagine how hard that was for her, moving from a country place to the biggest city in Brazil without the technology we have today. I know it must have been hard.